Thank you for joining me on the program. I am Mary Kanu. With just 37 days to the presidential election scheduled for February 25, both camps of the All Progressives Congress (APC) and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidates Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar respectively have continued to trade words. The attacks heightened over the week, with each calling for the arrest and disqualification of the order over allegations of graft contrary to the peace accord signed by the respective presidential candidates ahead of political campaigns. Tinubu's camp had said Atiku ought to have stepped down based on issues regarding his health and corruption allegations. The campaign council alleged that Atiku had committed a breach of the Code of Conduct Act, criminal breach of trust, conspiracy and money laundering. While countering the allegations and attack by Tinubu's camp, the Atiku Okowa campaign organization said Tinubu had no moral standing to put to disrepute the impeccable character and integrity of Atiku. Now, amid these war of words and smear campaigns, former President Goodluck Jonathan has expressed concern about the trend in the polity and the negative energy it has generated as the elections draw close. What then can we make of this smear campaign? Sonny Maduka, political affairs analyst, joins me on the program. Thank you very much for joining me. First things first, I must ask what you think of the exchange of words, from Tinubu's camp to Atiku's camp. Do you think there is an outer of truth in some of your words, or would you say they are mere allegations?
Thank you for having me, Mary. It's unfortunate what is happening, really. It's giving our country a bad image. And let me take you back to our African palace. It says, when elders are seen in the market square dancing naked, it means that those elders have sold out their reputations. But the unfortunate thing there is that it is not the elders that have equally sold their reputation. The naked dance that born by these elders, it has a very negative effect to the children. It is even more disheartening, seeing what is being displayed by the spokespersons of APC and PDP. It's showcasing certain psychotic disorder, let me put it that way. Because there are things you don't come out open to say. But we are all seeing the dirtiness of both parties. Let me take you back to this issue about the allegations. And truly, I think the allegations are not something we can just wave off our sleeves. The allegations are true. I will give you an instance. If the whistleblower that talked about Atiku, SPV issue, was wrong, let me put it that way. I think the best thing that Atiku could have done is to take the guy to the court for defamation of character. On the other way, if the allegation being leveled against Tinubu, they are equally not correct. The best way for them to tackle this issue is to take whoever that alleged to court for defamation of character. But you see how others are dancing naked, bringing more facts about who they are. And it gives you the idea that, look, there are more to these allegations. In a sane society, let me tell you, these two shouldn't have been allowed to contest because the allegations were weighty. And I'm asking myself, what is the complicity of the government? The government is complicit because we heard and we've seen, even from the primaries, where money was exchanged without anybody being prosecuted or arrested. We saw so glaringly how this issue has become an abusive issue instead of expression of issues. And the complicity of the government is because right now it's like nobody's in charge. And it's like corruption has become part of this regime's whatever you can call it. Let me give you an instance. These allegations, why are they not being investigated? Two, why are our security agencies still protecting these guys? Three, why is government not talking?
Sorry, I have to cut you here to ask another question. You mentioned Senate climbs, but during the time of Joe Biden and President Joe Biden, the U.S. president, and Donald Trump, we saw something like this happen. You know, the unending exchange of words. You know, this doesn't just happen in Nigeria alone. So why then would you say this constantly occurs?
Well, let me take you back to issue about society. The society you were talking about, vis-a-vis where we grew up. We grew up in a society where morality is very important, where principle is very important, where what inflects people are what is culturally accepted. In America, irrespective of whatever you're talking about, they talk about issues. There are a lot of allegations, but they are being investigated. They are being investigated even as of today. You had recently when, so it's not about, it's about the society. If a society loves purity and uprightness, we will take the standard as the morality value of our elders. Because what makes an elder is not the age. It is your morality value, your principle in life, and the uprightness. And of course, the self-control. But you can see that those two, they are nowhere close to morality. And if you look at it, like I said in some other places, in this kind of accusation, I expected those people culpable or those who were talked on to come to the aid and clear their names. It's not about the spokespersons. It's about the people, the individuals. Just like you mentioned, Joe Biden came out to talk to to American citizens. Even Trump is still talking. But here, these people who have become untouchable, they don't feel like coming to clear their names, and they are using surrogates. That is the difference. So the Biden case is a case of personal encounter with the people.
Are you now implying that Atiku and Tinubu, the major candidates in the elections, are you implying that they lack the moral ground to rule a country, or better still run for the election?
It is very clear. It is very clear. To rule a country, you must be seen at least, I won't say everybody's going to be sane, but at least 70%. But you can see right from the beginning, it has been accusation to accusation. And most of these accusations are not being defended by those culpable people. And these accusations are very weighty. And these accusations are in public domain. These accusations are something that the government is aware of, or everybody is aware of it. So why can't they come out? If they want to clear themselves morally, they should come out and defend themselves in public glare. So that is the issue. I just want to give you an issue. When Tony Blair was accused of buying a bigger house in London, all Britain, they all attacked him. But he came out to the open and explained how he got the money to buy the house he got. He sold the old one, buy a new one, and gave analysis of how income were gotten. But here, the arrogancy and the impunity of most of these candidates is so much that you can't even understand if they have become the president or they are just trying to, muzzle Nigerians into believing what they think that is right. And of course, it's not right.
All right now, the presidential candidates, and the national chairman of different parties were made to sign a peace accord committing themselves to a peaceful campaign for the 2023 elections. Now, this has not been the case so far. Would you say the peace accord is just a piece of paper and, not actually a binding document?
Well, if it's a binding document, and if INEC is following the rule, by now some of them will have been disqualified or called to order. But nobody is calling these guys to order. So it's just a mere normal signing. Of course, don't forget that Asiwaji Tinubu didn't sign that accord. So he could equally exonerate himself. But every other one signed. But what I can't understand is why they bringing the reputation of Nigeria in a global image that is tarnishing Nigerians abroad, and of course, all of us here. The allegations are weighty. And instead of them to talk about issues, they are abusing themselves. It's not abuse. They are using the abuse to cover up the weighty allegations. And I'm challenging the EFCC, the ICPC, if they are truly, truly independent, if they are truly responsible for investigating certain crimes, these crimes should not be just put under the carpet. They are weighty, they are something that is tangible, they are something that you can feel, and all Nigerians should feel that no one is untouchable when it comes to law breaking. But we have seen it. And the reality is just the issue about the society. We have measured ourselves to the extent that these people who feel they are untouchable can do anything and go scot-free. And why am I talking about the government, which is very, very core here? The complicity of the government is very, very, very important. Let me take you all through. This government came on the banner of, fighting corruption. And we have seen corruption at every stage of this regime. I've said something about the primaries. The primaries, we all know, we are more or less purchased by the presidential candidate of APC and PDP. We have seen how 109 billion naira was taken off, and the person returned 30 billion, and everybody is celebrating. We have seen how CBN governor is under watch, and somebody is protecting them. We have seen many things happening, and nobody is talking. Okay, recently in Kano State, it was very, very open. It was spoken about that somebody carried 10 million naira cash to a campaign ground. Until date, nothing happens. So the impunity of this political, whoever you call it, is getting out of hand. And
I'm sure you can go on and on and on this topic. It's quite extensive, but I must ask you about the electorate just in a few minutes because we've almost gotten to the end of the show. But there are accusations, or are these accusations and, the counter accusations, are they heavy enough to influence the thoughts and, the actions of citizens and, consequently determine how they'll vote on election day?
Definitely. If we have intellectuals, if we have people with sane mind, we have people that have an idea about normalcy and how things should be. These accusations and counter accusations will influence the election. It is not even something that anyone can doubt about. It should be a very veritable factor to influence this election. And anybody who is voting these guys who have been accused and counter-accused with allegations, I think that person should examine himself, because we must take back our country. This Nigerian, as of today, is in ICU, and we cannot give it to people who have certain characters that we cannot be, happy about. So it's time for us to look back, look at the antecedent of everyone that is contesting, and see the best among them and choose rightly. Thank you very much.
All right, now, Sonny Madwika, Political Affairs Analyst, thank you for your time and insights. We'll take a short break now and be right back to stay with us.